Okay, so I just watched this movie called Car 54, Where Are You? It stars John C. McGinley, I think. That's how you say it. He was Dr. Cox in Scrubs and has had sort of a decent movie career as in the background stuff. In this, he isn't good. He plays the straight man, so there's not much you can do with that. But he also is just miserable. He is co-starred by guy I can't remember the name of. It's the dude who was in the New York Dolls, who then became an actor with a really bad voice that's annoying to listen to. He's in a few other things. I think he's in Free Jack, which is another really bad movie, although it's not a bottom 100 one. It sucks a lot. But back to this. This is just what's going on in this movie. It's apparently based on an old TV show that I'm not familiar with, also called Car 54, Where Are You? And apparently it was pretty well liked. Most of the reviews I've seen of this movie are mostly angry at how poorly it portrayed the characters and the story and the funny of the original source material. There's a lot of just really flat jokes. What is there to say? It opens up with sort of a silly musical number where this lead character is having a fantasy about a perfect, like, I guess he's in Brooklyn, like this ideal Brooklyn where everybody loves the police, and he's turns out to be sleeping in his car during a police riot. He's just sort of a ne'er-do-well, kind of semi-corrupt cop who's super laid back and doesn't really care about anything. He's really grating and unlikable as like a character and a quasi-human being. The straight character also is introduced partway into the movie. This dude's partner retires, and of course, as any buddy cop comedy is supposed to go, they have a ridiculous pairing between two unlikely partners. In this case, it is a really annoying, gravelly voiced guy and a really boring guy. Um, Shenanigans occur is probably the best way to sum up the movie's plot. Just sort of a series of scenarios. The sort of main framing device is that there is a witness who's being held by the police that the mob is trying to assassinate, which, that's a decent enough framing device. And they figure there's a mole inside the police department, so they have to trust the people that are the least likely to be moles. And so they hand him off to the incompetent, annoying cop and the really super straight-laced cop. Now, if they wanted to do something really interesting with this movie, they would have made the straight-laced cop the mole. They established that he's a brand new officer into the precinct. So I thought that if they wanted to make an actually good or interesting movie, they could have had him be the mole and then sort of change his perspective based on his experiences in the police department with his goofy partner, and they might have actually developed something interesting there, but they didn't. So there's just a bunch of stupid shenanigans and a bunch of unlikable characters doing stupid things. Uh, One thing I did note was I had to double check this, but the guy who plays this informant, who's like a bookie of some sort for the mob who they're trying to kill, is definitely blanking on his name off the top of my head. He is really famous from playing the agent Ari Gold on Entourage, and he usually plays a very strong-willed, angry character, but in this, he's just sort of an absent-minded, oblivious bookie guy. It's definitely him though. Jeremy Piven, that's his name. I was really surprised to see him in this, mostly because he has a career now, whereas most of these other people don't. Actually, John C. McGinley obviously is still in things. He's managed to carve out his own niche and can survive this kind of thing. Um, you don't see the other guy in much anymore, mostly because he doesn't. He is kind of a character actor anyway. Um, yeah, all the acting in this is really bad, but I suspect because all the acting is bad and like done in a silly sort of cartoony way that was responsibility of the director, uh, and he encouraged that sort of thing. I'm guessing the intention there was to try and harken back to an old style of comedy, which I mentioned in the Mask 2 review, that trying to harken back to an old style of comedy for a new kind of audience is very difficult to do. I actually think Who Framed Roger Rabbit is sort of a rare example of sort of hybridizing of different styles of comedy into something that's actually watchable and good. But this is one of those where it didn't work. It just comes off really odd. I don't think people who are fans of the original show would particularly like this, and the new sort of youngins at the time. I think this was done in the early 90s. I don't think they would be particularly into this either. So it's just kind of a confused mess. Yeah, there's not much. The one thing that I also thought was odd, I don't know why they did this. They make a jab or two at the Godfather in the movie. One of the mob guys hires a hitman who's definitely supposed to be a half-hearted ripoff of Luca Brasi. The way he talks is definitely based on that. And also, one of the Baldwin brothers, I'm not really sure which one it is, one of the lesser-known Baldwins plays the main bad guy, the mob boss. And for whatever reason, I don't know why they decided this, they decided to make his quirk, because mob bosses need a quirk, that he can't have people near him or in confined spaces, so like a mixture of needing a big personal space and claustrophobia or something. And that's how he gets caught, is they basically trick him into being shoved into a tunnel of love, and he freaks out and confesses to everything. Yeah, I don't know. I bet somebody, a good lawyer, could get him off on that. But yeah, it's just really nonsense. It's shenanigans happen. Shenanigans that are only sort of tied in with each other. Things that aren't funny. Rosie O'Donnell has a bit part in it, who's also not funny in this. Lots of not funny. It's not even, like, so unfunny that it kind of comes back around again to being funny as an experimental, not funny kind of way, like Leonard Part 6, in my opinion. This is just kind of a tough watch. It's really just dull. I can't think of any reason that you should watch this, just general person. So, don't. That's my last word on this. Don't watch it. There are much better bad movies out there. I would actually recommend any of the Police Academy movies over this, if you're interested in a, quasi-silly, kind of dumb cop show sort of thing. And definitely any of the Naked Guns. I can just think of so many better things than this to watch if you want a funny cop thing. I mean, I haven't seen, there's a movie with Burt Reynolds called, I think, Fuzz. That might actually be better than this. I might have to compare those. I don't take my word on that. But, yeah, there are lots of other things you should watch other than this. It's failed comedy, and failed comedies are bad. It sucks. Let's be done with it.
Car 54, where are you?
Not running away from my duty. I'm running away from you. Wherever you go, disaster follows.
Oh, my God!
Two men on a mission. Officer Tootie, Officer Muldoon.
We have the lowest reported crime rate in the whole city.
Of course you do. You don't report any of it.
They can outrun any killer.
They're getting away.
They can protect any witness.
There's no time for a nap. Come on, get up. We gotta get out of here.
And what they lack in good instinct.
Hey, help! Police! Police, help!
Right there.
They make up for with good intentions.
You've got a big booger right here.
From the people who didn't bring you lethal weapons comes a story so daring.
Yeah, you want even bigger? We got bigger. Here it is, the M60. You can do Forrester with this Rambo, baby.
A story so romantic.
I brought you some flowers.
What more could a man ask for?
A story so powerful. You'd better bring protection.
Does anybody have a mailbox?
David Johansen, John McGinley, Fran Drescher, Nipsey Russell, Rosie O'Donnell, Daniel Baldwin, Jeremy Piven, Tone Loc, the Ramones, and Al Lewis. Car 54, where are you?
What's wrong?
Cop groupies.
Cop groupies.
Yes, cop groupies today on Geraldo. I saw the whole thing.